Hey guys, welcome back to Fandom Sage Powers, where we talk comics, heroes, villains, and the Dawn. We are moving into our X-Force issue in Volume 3 right now. We, as humans, recognize our limitations and then invent remedies. Telescopes and microscopes compensate for the weakness of eyes. Hammers and saws defy the softness of hands. Boots and skis allow feet to explore rocks and snow and water. Drugs shield and purify the body. And you, dear Domino, you're a walking skeleton key that will help us pick the lock of evolution. Pain don't hurt. Mutants around the world are flocking to the island nation of Krakoa for safety, security, and to be part of the first mutant society. Using skin grafts from Domino's body to fool Krakoa's defenses, a mercenary strike team infiltrated the island and assassinated Professor X, destroying his Cerebro helmet in the process. Jean Grey and Beast retrieved a backup Cerebro that the Professor had installed in case of his demise. Meanwhile, Wolverine and Kid Omega followed the assassin's trail to South Korea, where they found a biomanufacturing plant full of half-grown killers, and Domino, half-filleted and clinging to life. Outside Seol. That Krakoan commandment, murder no man? I'm guessing it don't apply to lab-built hamburgers like these. That law is exactly why Krakoa will never work. Professor X has always been too kind, too generous, too optimistic about the protozoic slime that is humanity. And now look what they've done. You're smart, kid, but that don't mean you know everything. You're telling me this doesn't make you angry? They're using Domino as a platform for bioprinting. She's been butchered. Oh, I'm pissed as hell. But trust me, the professor knows exactly what humans are capable of. The same as mutants. The very best. And the very worst. Oh. I suppose this isn't a very scientific question, Jean, but do you think we'll miss dying? If your plan works, if we can bring Charles back, I'm trying to imagine what that means for mutant kind. Because he's not one life. He's all of our lives. Will we become recklessly assured? Shouldn't we have a healthy fear of death? No, not at all. And here's why. When I was a kid, my family took a few road trips to Niagara Falls, to Acadia National Park, and when we got tired of driving, we'd stop at country cemeteries. My parents would lie down in the shade of big tombstones to nap or have a snack. While they rested, my sister and I ran. We played a game. Who could find the oldest grave? I've died more times than anyone can keep track of. And maybe that's in part because I learned from a very early age that death wasn't something to fear. That's made me a better person and hero. You're suggesting that death, or the fear of it, rather, makes people selfish. I suppose it doesn't encourage generosity or bravery. What I'm saying is, without death, life is less about me and more about us. The long game of mutant kind. That's the dream of Krakoa. And we're charged with protecting it. Kid, could use some help about now. The freaking psionic dampener, I need to get farther away. Ah! Then run like hell. Logan. Don't worry, Dom. We got you. Power inhibitor. Hey, kid. I'm running as fast as I can. I got a feeling our luck's about to change. My powers, they're back. I'm back. Which means this walking petri dish is dead meat. Any progress? He was torn apart by Wolverine. There's only so much. Do everything you can, healer, and more. We have 1,000 questions about the attack. Not just who's responsible, but how they pulled it off, and what their next move might be. If he dies, so do the answers. The fifth assassin. No one questioned the death of the fifth assassin. His condition was serious, and there was only so much that can be done when a body has been stabbed and shredded by adamantium claws. The plan was to strip down his remains, along with the remains of the other 4, to the very marrow, in hopes of discovering some biometric identification. These were not people, after all, they were property. Valuable property. And valuable property is tagged and chipped for reclamation. Perhaps Dr. Reyes or Healer would have found some signature trace, even on a cellular level. The bodies contained many secrets: reinforced bones, an abundance of fast-twitched muscle fibers, oversized adrenal glands, hidden weapons in the forearm, and explosive putty and garroting wire. But this, a comprehensive autopsy, was not to be, because, like the South Korean lab, the bodies detonated. Their skeletons became shrapnel, no different than screws and stainless steel stuffed into an IED. The blast tore Healer apart, and he has been fast-tracked for resurrection. The brain and spinal cord of each body were believed to be the source of the explosion. It is unclear whether the assassins were outfitted with a biological timer, or if this was an ambush that presented itself in response to the deep anatomical query. Washington Square Park, Manhattan. It's not just here. It's all of them. Every gate. Crowds gathering. Reporters. People want to know whether it's true. Whether Xavier's dead. And what would you propose I do? I was supposed to defend the island. I messed that up good and proper. I won't let it happen again. Up to me, I'd send a swarm of vines out to strangle the lot of them. Maybe stab some sticks in their eyes. But I'm guessing you prefer your fancy words and fancy ways. So you better do something, Magneto. Before Black Tom does something. Magneto, can you confirm Charles Xavier was assassinated? Was Cerebro destroyed as well? What does that mean for Krakoa and the Mutant Nation? Do the treaties still stand? It's all right. You don't need to say anything. I can speak for myself, old friend. But Professor Xavier? How do we know it's really you? Maybe you're a shapeshifter. What if you're an illusion? Is that question any more relevant now than it was before? The answer, then, is still the answer. If this new geopolitical alliance is going to work, then you have to trust that I'll always be there for you. The Cerebro Sword. When Xavier once again walked among his people, some could not help but cheer and cry with gladness. Others embraced him. Others shook his hand. Others bowed or knelt on one knee. Forge grabbed him by the shoulder and dragged him close and offered him a big hearty kiss on the mouth, startling a laugh out of the professor. When he and Magneto finally had a private moment, his old friend did not smile or clap him on the back. Instead, he stared long and hard at Charles before offering a gift. The shattered remains of Cerebro, which he had shaped into a sword. I suggest you keep this close, he said. Xavier took it by the hilt and promised to do as Magneto advised. In his living quarters, he hung the Cerebro Sword on the wall above his bed, as a totem and as a reminder. When he lay down, the point of it gleamed at him. He had never been a sound sleeper, even less so now. And that was a good thing. A man at war cannot be a man at peace. Every now and then the sword would wink and glimmer with the light or hum with the data still coursing through it. Cerebro was broken, but forged anew and refined like Xavier's dream. I am famously the best. But even though I can take away your pain, even though I can give you back the use of your leg and arm, I'm having trouble telepathically accessing your memories. Pain and narcotics have made a mess of your brain. No sh**. I'm living that mess right now. I wish I could tell you everything, but I can't. I feel like I've gone through a blender. Everything's a scramble. Been there, Dom. You'll find your way, with time and rest. Xavier sent me to investigate shell companies, ties to anti-mutant politicians and business leaders. I followed the money. I can't remember much, but I remember a man. What man? The man with the peacock tattoo. Let's head back in, do a deep clean, see what we can. I don't think that's a good idea. Why? Lucky guess. So what exactly did you tell the press, Magneto? We told them nothing, Miss Gray. Nothing about the assassination or the resurrection? Nothing about Cerebro? Nothing about, as I said, Miss Gray, nothing. That's why we're all hiding in this swamp hole with the waterfall roaring outside to hide our voices? To talk about nothing. We denied it ever happened. And denial is what we're here to talk about. Deniable operations, that is. I was hoping we were beyond this, honestly, but they, whoever they are operating from the shadows. So, we must respond in kind. You studied our enemy and determined they're trying to catch up with us, bioengineering themselves into weapons, using science to give them what nature won't. And you followed their scent and spilled their blood like hunters. The left hand turns a page and the right hand makes a fist. That feels right to me. That feels like a force of good. Xavier's back. Already he pursues us, I'm told. To me, my X-Force. This isn't the time to go quiet. This is the time to get loud. We'll funnel money into xenophobic gangs, churches, think tanks. We'll build an army of dummy accounts and chat groups online. We'll create every manner of disruption and dissonance. And of course, we'll continue to hunt down mutants for our experiments. Every country has a shadow agency, Weapon X among them. Xavier made certain each and every one was defunded and disbanded. But just as the mutants have come together in Krakoa, the shadows have gathered here. And where shadows gather, there is darkness. We are one, and we are many. We are Xeno. Wow, so yet another villainous group that the X-Men are going to have to contend with. Man, they are really piling up. And this one appears to be the amalgamation of many shadow organizations, like he mentioned, Weapon X, and Department K probably is a part of them. Alpha Flight, maybe, those type of government agencies that aren't supposed to be on the books. They're probably a lot more of a threat than horticulture, but that remains to be seen, honestly. If you like this video, please like, share, and if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button now. And I'll catch you in the next issue.